Good evening, everybody. I hope you are well this evening and keeping warm because boy oh boy is it cold. I think we've had 3 degrees here in Shropshire today, but it hasn't been very warm. We had some amazing snowfall yesterday as well, so yeah, the heating is on, and you can see I've got my fleece on. So I hope you are all keeping toasty warm wherever you are in the UK or abroad, because found out the other day that there's people all over the world in this group, which is amazing and I love it. So thank you to everybody who has joined us from different parts of the globe. This evening's chat is going to be about eco bricks. It should be quite a quick one. There, I'm guessing, will be more questions than usual. I did a post on an eco brick stool that I had made a couple of weeks ago, and the amount of interest that it got was ridiculous. So I thought that I would do a little bit of a how-to guide for those people who don't know what eco bricks are, and you can ask me questions about it as we go along. So for those of you who do not know me and have never seen me before, my name is Jen and I am the owner and creator of Eco Living Ideas. My mission is to create a platform and a community where people who are starting or are on their eco journey can come and get answers and answers to their questions easily without having all the stress and research that is often needed. I do this by providing facts, information and beautiful eco-friendly products. So I hope you all enjoy this evening's talk. I think I've got a few people on. If you can give me a wave or something, folks, if you're there. As always, please do feel free to ask questions as we go through, and I will either answer them as we go along or I will check back at the end. And if you are watching on replay, then I will of course be looking at the comments and make sure I get back to people as well. This video will also go onto my YouTube channel and onto a blog on the website. So there's plenty of ways to catch it on replay if you haven't made it live. Whilst we are chatting, you can also sign up if you would like to my waste audit guide, which is completely free, and it's the very first section of the 90-day plan. So if you haven't got time to subscribe to the 90-day plan and commit to that, then give the waste audit guide a go, and I will pop a link to that in the comments. So tonight, got my notes as always, so sorry for glancing down. Tonight we are going to look at what is an eco brick, how to make an eco brick, and then arguments sort of for and against, because not everybody thinks they're a great idea, so we'll have a look at the reasons why, and yeah, like I said, ask me any questions. So what is an eco brick? An eco brick is essentially a plastic bottle which is packed tightly with non-recyclable plastic waste, so things like salad bags, crisp packets, the film of fruit punnets, biscuit and chocolate wrappers, that type of soft plastic. So some of these things are now, you are able to recycle them through a TerraCycle scheme. So if you have one of those nearby, you can go down that route, but not everybody has access to that type of recycling scheme. So an eco brick is a way of containing that plastic rather than it just being sent to landfill and getting blown out onto fields, rivers, that type of thing. The bottles, the eco brick concept originally started in poorer countries as ways for them to trap their plastic, and it meant that they could then build structures out of the bottles. There's amazing, if you Google or ecozy search eco brick structures, there's people that have built like full houses out of them and like community toilets and that type of thing. So it is worth, if you're interested, going and having a look and seeing some of the amazing things that have been built. Now they're more popular in the UK, although not at the moment because of COVID, but typically people are collecting them for community projects. So things like building a park bench or flower beds in a community garden, that type of thing. I'm going to chat through how to make an eco brick. Please do feel free to ask a question as I go along, because I'm not aware that I'm going quite quickly. So yeah, if there's anything that you're not sure of, please do shout. So to make an eco brick, you need time and patience to begin with. They're not the easiest of things to get going. Once you've got the hang of it, it's fine. But you basically need to find a plastic bottle. If you're keeping these for yourself, make sure it's the sort of bottle that you have regularly. So a squash bottle that you have the same brand of all the time. If it's for a community project, ask them what they need, and there's no point in filling bottles if they then cannot be used. It's sort of a waste of your time and energy. So find your bottle and make sure it is clean and dry, and then start to collect plastic. As I said before, this can be anything from sort of a salad bag, a crisp packet, biscuit wrappers, that type of thing. It all needs to be washed completely clean and totally dry, and this is to stop it from growing bacteria once it's packed into the bottle. So clean dry bottle, clean dry plastic. You then cut the plastic up and pack it into the bottle. Now again, this depends on if you're doing it for yourself or for a group. Some groups like there to be a specific colour at the bottom of the bottle, so you will need to check on that. I made them for myself and wasn't overly worried about that, so they just got packed with whatever plastic I had available. I used a bamboo cane to poke my plastic into the bottom of the bottle, and it's very, very important that it is densely packed. So the end weight of the bottle needs to be 1/3 of its size. So if you have a 1 litre bottle, it needs to be 333 grams minimum, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about plastic that's thin and small, it is quite a lot. So you need to take your time. You need to make sure that you're packing the plastic and just weigh it as you go along. So if you get to halfway through up the bottle and you're not halfway through the weight, then you need to pack it in harder and make sure that you get that density up. So yeah, I think that's it. So everything needs to be clean and dry. You need a really good pokey stick. You can use a wooden spoon, a bamboo cane. I know people have used knitting needles before, but there is always the chance that they'll go through the side of the bottle, and if that happens, then you would have to start again with another bottle. So yeah, have a think about what sort of pokey stick you would like to use. A few things: make sure there's no glass, metal or paper, because it'll ruin the integrity of the brick. I've mentioned about looking at specific colours for the bottom of the bricks as well. And then yeah, just keep an eye on the weight and the density of the brick, because if it doesn't meet the standards, you won't be able to log it properly and it wouldn't be safe to use in a structure. Once you've completed your bottle, you go to a website which is gobrick.org, and you can log your bottles there and they are verified, and that's just a way of keeping track how many have been made and where they are being donated to as well. So I will put links to all these things in the comments, by the way, because there's a few different websites that are really handy. I'm hoping, I don't know if I've got any comments. I'm going to see if I can find comments on my laptop, because nothing is showing up again, which is what happened last week. So I don't actually know if there's anybody even there listening to me. I have. Hello. Okay, so yeah, don't use a bottle with a handle. That's a really good point, actually. If you have like a milk bottle with a handle on the side, you can't stuff it properly, so it won't be dense enough. It wouldn't be heavy enough, so it wouldn't be used. So yeah, sort of the straighter the sides of the bottle, the easier it is to stuff them and pack them. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Thank you for that. Okay, so with regards to the arguments for and against, some people love eco bricks, and as I found out when I did my post about my footstool, some people hate them. Fortunately, I had lots of people stick up for me, but I wouldn't have argued anyway, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion. My personal opinion is that they are a fantastic way of assessing your plastic usage, to see what you can cut back on. So if you do it correctly, You will see what you're cutting up every week or every day if you do it daily, and you will be able to assess that and make a change. So if you find that you are cutting up a biscuit wrapper every 2 or 3 days, make your own biscuits and have less of the biscuit wrappers. If you've got a lot of crisp packets, then could you buy a big multi-pack of crisps, as in the family share bags? So instead of having 10 smaller bags, you have 1 bag. That type of thing is worthwhile doing. Even if you only do 1 or 2 bricks, it's worthwhile doing to be able to assess that plastic. So that for me is like one of the biggest reasons to do them. It will also mean that by doing that, you can assess what's coming into your house, you can make the changes, and then every time you make a brick, it will take longer for you to fill it, in theory, if you are doing it correctly. The bricks can also be used to build things. So I've made a footstool, which isn't the best and it needs a bit of rejigging, but it's great. I didn't have to, all I bought was the material to cover it with. Everything else I had in the house, so it cost very little, and it's comfortable and it's usable. Just needs a bit of sorting out. But yeah, the bricks can be used as a fun and safe alternative to other building materials if they are used correctly. Now, one of the links that I'll post in the comments is the EcoBrick organisation website, and they tell you how to make things properly. So it's things like making sure that they can't be damaged by UV rays, because then that will damage the brick and it will potentially leach plastic into soil and things like that. So you have to be really careful. Part of the density thing is so that they're not a fire hazard. Yeah, it's the thing about eco bricks is to remember that they're not a reason to excuse plastic usage. So you can't sort of say to yourself, oh well, I'm putting all this plastic into an eco brick, so it doesn't matter, like I can keep using it. That's not what they're for. It's to assess what you're using and reduce it. I hope that makes sense and doesn't sound too preachy, but I know I have had experience of people saying to me, it's all right, I'm eco bricking, it doesn't matter if I'm still using that. It does. The whole point is that you're not supposed to be using it if at all possible. And I know that is one of the reasons that people are against eco bricks, is that they that others use them as an excuse to keep using plastic and keep that plastic waste, and it's not the solution. It is a way to help the problem, but it definitely is not the solution. So please remember that if you do decide to take up eco bricking. So yeah, look at the guidelines on how to build things, look at the guidelines on how to make the brick in the first place, and you shouldn't have any issues. I think that's everything. I'm just going to go and see if I've got any more questions. Doesn't look like it. Please pop questions in the comments. If you're watching this back on replay, it would be lovely to get a bit of a discussion going about them. Yeah, I think that's everything for now. It's a short one tonight. So yeah, I'll pop some links into the comments about the waste audit guide that I've set up and about the different EcoBrick websites. There's also a Facebook group, EcoBricks UK, that is very handy. So you might want to join that if you are interested. And as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. And I look forward to seeing you next week for another topic. Speak to you all soon. Bye.